I saw the search for that victory goes on, and it goes on to Bolton. What's the the feeling amongst the camp at the moment?
I'm feeling excited about tomorrow. We've had 2 games which we'd have liked to have won, but I think it's without disrespecting any of those games, the big focus has been on this one. The players have known that. I've known that. They've had, as I said, they've had 2 games everyone's had a game now to play themselves into the team for this Saturday. So the focus was always on this. We wanted to win the games, of course we did, and we didn't take them lightly. We worked on the opposition, etc. But I think the lads have known that bigger picture, this is the one they want to be involved in. It's the one we all want to be involved in. So I feel energised by it. The fact that it's the first league game, I'm excited for it. And it feels we're going there with, despite results, we're going there feeling a lot more positive about ourselves, with a bit more belief in ourselves, and the lads have got clarity in what we're doing. So we'll go over that again today. But I'm hoping we can just build on the last 2 performances. As I said, I've been fairly pleased with them in terms of performance. It's just the one bit missing at the end of it, and we've done a bit of work on that, and we'll continue to work on that again today. And hopefully for us it pays off. But it's exciting. It's a great place to go and play. Played there lots over the years myself. Team on the up, good manager, a good assistant manager who we know plenty about. So it'll be a good test for us. But it's one I'm looking forward to, and so are the players.
Obviously, taking over as manager when you've been a player with this squad, are you now looking at them as players differently to the way that you looked at them as a player? And are you learning things about them, and have you learned things about them from the last couple of games?
I've learned loads about them, yeah, but I think, as I've said, I think I know enough about them after spending 8 months in the dressing room, most of them. Am I judging them any differently as people? No, because I know them really well. I think the dynamics changed a little bit, so there's obviously with the role I'm in now, it becomes a little bit different. That's natural, but judging them as players differently, no, I don't think so. I said to everyone as soon as I became manager, it's sort of I want to treat everyone with a clean slate, really. So whatever opinions I had of them before, they've got a chance to change that. And obviously me sitting on the other side of the fence and seeing a bigger picture, it's a bit easier to have a look at them as players rather than being involved with them. You don't necessarily, you concentrate on your own game that much, you don't necessarily see other things that you might now. And I've picked up a few bits from the games that have changed my opinion on certain things, but not as them as people. I always trust and respect them hugely as a group of players. We've got a really good group, and I just want to make them believe in themselves again and show what good players they are.
Now, I'm not sure whether I'm going to get an answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because that's what I do. When you were playing with them, would you have picked an 11? If you'd have picked 11, would it be the same 11 that you picked now? I think
it always changes. I had 11 on Saturday in my mind before Tuesday, and that changed. So it's changed since then. But what I've got is a real belief in the team that we're picking for tomorrow to win that game of football. And it's not always going to be the same. And I think I'm well open to being surprised by people and having people change my opinion, because I think it's a great thing if that happens. I'm not one who's going to go, right, he can't do that, he can do that, and that's it, it's fixed then. So I'm well open to changing it, and it's difficult. I've got to be as objective as possible, which after knowing them so well, but I need to look at it in a game-to-game basis and what's best for the team, what's best for us, and they'll understand that. I said that not everyone can get picked on Saturday, unfortunately, but if they want to come and see me and ask why, I'll give them a reason, and they can work on that to make sure they put themselves in the team at some point in the future. But I think it's just having a relationship with them that I've got and continuing that.
We just spoke to Joe Mason, and he's a player that, of course, he's been frustrated himself. But everyone's been frustrated, I would imagine, including you and the previous manager, that he can't be picked. But he's got some minutes now. He's got some minutes under his belt. Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be 100% ready yet. There's no way that he could do that. But how close do you think he is to being that man that could start a game?
If I'm looking at it in the games he's come on, the last 2, I think he's looked really sharp. Training in the last 3 weeks, he's looked excellent. It's like having a new sign in the building, really. Lads are going, he does some things we go, there's quality there. It's obvious, the level he's played at, the goals he's scored. So he showed real glimpses of that in training. And if we can get him back to where he was before his injuries and stuff like that, then we've got one top player in our hands. So it's up to us to not rush him into things. But he feels ready. I had a good chat with Joe, and he feels ready, and he wants to make an impact. He's desperate to make an impact and come back from his injury. And if anything, I said that to sports science and medical guys earlier this week. He looks much better now than he did in pre-season, because he's had so much time to work on his body, and maybe he's got a bit more trust in himself and his body now. So that's testament to them and testament to his hard work. He's really dug in, and hopefully for us it's one that pays off.
I hate this to be the weekly kind of Reece and Sam catch up, but if we can, just how are they progressing?
Progressing nicely. I think there's been some pictures of them on the grass this week, which is great to see. Sam's youthfulness and enthusiasm to get back. We don't want to rush him, but he's desperate to get back, so he's trying to force the medical team into doing everything now and yesterday. But we need to take our time. It's a big injury, so but he's both of them, to be fair, they've pushed each other. They've worked extremely hard through their rehab, and they'll both come back better than what they were before in terms of physical strength, robustness. We hope, with the hard work they put in. So they're not, I don't think they'll be in contention much this side of Christmas in terms of they really need to build up to speed. But if we can get them back before then it'll be brilliant. And
Sam, we talked about Joe. Obviously, already played a certain amount of football. Yeah. Being frustrated that he couldn't play. Sam breaks through, gets given the opportunity, takes it, and then gets injured. That must be a frustration in a completely different way. Now, as you say, he's itching to get back.
Yeah, of course. I think what he'd done, he put himself in a great position at the start of the season, coming from nowhere, really. I don't think anyone expected him to do what he'd done himself, apart from himself possibly. He's got real self-belief, Sam, and he just brings a freshness and a fearlessness which we've lacked since he got injured, really. He comes in with so much energy and excitement for the game and just wants to play and wants to work hard, and I love that attitude, which is why it's got him this far. If we can work on the other stuff and smooth off the rough edges, we've got a real player on our hands. But I'm looking forward to having him back. I think the whole squad are. Like I said, what he brings in terms of his enthusiasm, work rate, and that fearlessness of anyone, whoever he's playing against. You saw that against Liverpool and stuff. He couldn't care less who he's playing against, whether it's Sunday League or a Premier League player. He's going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm looking forward to having that back in the squad.
No, I love that side of his game. And is it possible that with Reece and Sam being out together, that their relationship as two professionals could develop? I mean, they're not on the pitch necessarily, but that communication, they'll be talking, they'll be discussing everything, they'll presumably talk about football and being up front.
So,
and if you do play the two players alongside each other, this period could have helped.
Yeah, I think they're really fortunate they've had it. Listen, not for us because we'd have liked one of them fit at least, but they're really fortunate they've had each other to push each other through. It was the same with Joe when he was injured. That all three of them together at certain times working really hard, and they've brought each other out of their shells almost. That you can see they're really comfortable in each other's company. They enjoy working hard together, and of course there's always that little bit of competition. They're both playing in the same position, so there's always that little bit as well. But if it brings the added benefit of them being closer in terms of relationship on and off the pitch, then it's another bonus.
Bolton on Saturday then, tomorrow. Bolton tomorrow. And I spoke to Joe, it's odd, isn't it, for Bolton because of the position they're in, losing so many points early on. But they've still got to play they've still got to go out on match day and perform like they can get out of it. They've got to believe that they can get out of it.
I think they've got a manager and an assistant manager that genuinely do believe that now, and they've brought in some good players. As I said, it's a real good football club in terms of the place to play, the supporters. So they'll be demanding there. It's not one of them where you just go, oh, well, this season, it's all right. If it can't be like that, they need to build something. So if it ends up going the way they don't want it to, they need to build something ready so they're ready to bounce back. But listen, there's so many points to play for. No one can be written off at this point, regardless of their start. But they're a completely different animal to what they were at the start of the season, obviously playing the youth team and all that stuff. So I said it would be a tough game. They've recruited really well, but it's one I'm really looking forward to, and I think our players are up for the task, and we'll go there looking to try and get a result.
Who will be sat on the bench with you, alongside you then? Has that been clarified yet?
In terms of players, can't say that, can I?
No, not players.
So Luke will be there, obviously. Luke's came in on Wednesday, so delighted to have him on board. It's a brilliant appointment for me personally and for the football club. I think top coach, great reputation. Spoke to a lot of people about him before he came in. After I'd met him, I knew he was the one that we wanted to bring in. Spoke to a lot of people about him in terms of just character references and his coaching ability, which I knew about anyway. And I loved the way his team played when he was at Swindon. So he'll be brilliant for us, and he'll be really good for me in terms of someone to bounce ideas. And we'll challenge each other. We've done that already. We've got we agree on a lot, but there'll always be stuff that we'll have to fine tune. But he'll be there, and Ryan will still be there because he's been brilliant. He's been someone to really lean on these last couple of weeks. A great link for me with the players. The players really respect him. I spoke about it before. I've told you before. Great relationship with them, and these guys see what he's got in terms of his intelligence, his his personality. So he's been really important. So he'll stay there. He'll help us. He knows Luke as well. He's got a good relationship with Luke, which helps. So yeah, he'll stay there for the foreseeable, and he'll be there on Saturday.
Just one final question, and it's an obvious answer to a certain extent, but I spoke to Joe Mason and I said, how much would it mean? How much would a victory mean to the team? I mean, what would it mean to you, Russell?
Oh, I mean a huge amount. I think getting that first win, getting that done and dusted early would be easier for everyone. But I just think we need something we need a result to kick-start us again and just get that belief back. Because I think what we've done the last 2 weeks in training, I've seen the lads slowly but surely, you can see there's the spring come back in their step in terms of their intensity in training, the belief coming back. The chests are out a little bit more. So I think just a result, a win will hopefully get us really going again and get us started, and from there we can build.
Are you still looking to add to the back room?
No, not at the minute. I'm bringing Dean in. He's great with the goalkeepers. They've worked really hard last week. And I think, as I said, Luke's fantastic, and then Ryan's been really helpful. So you don't want to get too many people, and we've got a real good in terms of Matt and Sai, the sports science and medical stuff. So it's all here. We had some really good people. It's just utilising them, making sure we maximise what they can bring to the group. So not at the minute. No, I'm quite happy with what we've got now.
And with Ryan still technically a player, I mean, is he looking to take up the coaching role as a full-time thing? I think it's something that he wasn't thinking about hugely until recently, but it's something he's really enjoying. He's really enjoying. I'm quite close to him anyway, so in terms of when we were players, so we argue about football all the time, or we'll agree on some things, but I think it's great to have that. And he's got we're completely different people, so I think you need that. So I'm quite he's a real deep thinker, and once I make my mind up, I tend to just go for it and do it, and he might add something in terms of, well, actually think about that one. So it's a good balance, and I've been really pleased with him. So the players, I think they've really, really taken to him sort of being in between roles. He still joins in training, he's still a player obviously, but he's doing so much in terms of the individual stuff with the young lads and the strikers, and I'll be honest, I haven't had time to do everything. It's been 2 weeks I've had to work on the team and trying to change the mentality. So he's been a real help, and he'll continue to do that. But where it goes, I think it's entirely up to us, how well we do and how much he enjoys it and how it works.